Alrighty gang, so today we are going to go through some mobility. We're going to look at two exercises in particular. Both are going to be weighted mobility, so we're going to use some load to try and strengthen our body through a complete range of motion. And the exercises are complete exercises, so it's not just going to challenge one part of our body, but multiple parts at once. All you're going to need for that is a weight plate and or a brush shaft. Okay, it's going to try and challenge us a little bit with our weight. And if you're particularly tight, you might want to have something that helps prop you up a little bit, be that a low stool, a handy dandy sofa, or stack up a pile of pillows. All right. Before we go through all of that, we're going to get a little bit sweaty. We're going to do some fitness. This is a warm-up / short workout. And my wonderful assistant B, I can't see you, is going to help us out with all of this, hopefully. So, our warm-up is going to be 3 rounds of 25 tuck jumps. Then 40 seconds of a side plank. And then 25 inchworms, 40 seconds of a side plank on the other side. So we'll go through that 2 more times, and that's our 3 rounds in total. We'll do this for time. I suggest let's do the first round relatively steady, get your heart rate elevated, use it as a general warm-up, and then have at it. Have loads of fun in the second 2 rounds. It's going to be sweet. I'll go through all of those exercises first. We'll then start the clock and have a bit of crack.
12 seconds later.
Alrighty, so with our tuck jump, we're going to jump as high as we can, and as we jump up nice and high, bring those knees up towards our chest, just like we would do if we were to do a backflip. He's going to show us one of those. Cool. Obviously, before you do any of this, you're going to assess the lighting situation and the shelving situation around you, and even other people in case you smash them in the face. If you are not a huge fan of jumping and your legs don't really take to that too well, let's maybe go for like some lunges, like so. That would do the job. Side plank. B's going to go feet that way, head this way. We can do this either on our elbow. Ta-da! Looking for a nice straight line all the way down. Hips stacked one on top of each other, shoulders stacked as well. If she was feeling particularly adventurous, she could do the same thing with a straight arm, really challenging that tricep and that shoulder. She's got to keep it pulled down towards her hip. You can relax. Wonderful. Now, with our inchworm, kind of got 2 levels to this. Level 1, B's going to go feet here. She's going to place her hands by her feet and walk herself out to the top of a plank. Beautiful. And then walk herself all the way back and stand all the way up again. Beautiful. Now, if she was feeling particularly health-like / mega fit, she could do the same thing and add in a push-up at the end, be that on her feet or her knees. Keeping those elbows in tight, chest to the floor and all the way back up, and really challenge the back of the legs as you come up. Okay? Cool. If your hamstrings are super duper tight, and you find at that point when you're here, and you're like, oh, I can't stand up from here. At that point, see if you can go just a smidge further back with straight legs, and then slight bend to allow you to stand. But what I don't want to see is this. We're out here, and we just bend the legs to come back up. That's not going to do us any good. We want to get a pre-stretch down the back of the legs.
That's why we're doing it.
Who'd have thought it, eh? Then side plank on the other side. Same process as before, really. Pull down towards the hip. Try and get that hip up nice and high. Stack everything nice and tight. Cool. So, 25 of our tuck jumps. 40 second side plank. 25 of our inchworms. 40 second plank on the other side. 3 total rounds. I'm going to set this clock up so you got something to see as you go there. Good luck. No, 10 seconds. Was that you?
Yes.
Classic day. streak or so?
Yep, that's why. Nice. Exercise room closed.
Nice.
Oh well, news ring. I think I'm on 10.
Particular vertical distance.
Ah, yep. Oh, no, didn't push up hard anymore. Are you editing? Oh, no, trying
Skip a feet.
99. 100. Oh, 21. Oh my goodness. I'm back. Back to planking.
Oh my days.
We're not going for a second. I think that's 50.
Wearing the Australian colours.
Oh really? You're wearing like the African colours? Ah!
Nice one, B. How are those shoulders feeling? Nice. Very nice.
Ugh.
Go on, you got it.
19.
Come on. Nice. Squeeze that bottom hammies as you stand up. Like a Jefferson curl, pull yourself up. Nice.
I have so much more range to go.
That's it, almost there.
Ugh.
Alright, last little bit. Come on. That's it. So put the belly button in, it's nice and high. Good, there's 10 seconds done. Good, squeeze that side. That's it. Press up with the bum, there's 20 seconds done, halfway. Go on. You got it, you got it. 10 seconds to go, come on. Three, two, one. Chubby. Pretty fine. Oh, you finished your workout.
What happened?
In 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Alright. So hopefully all our muscles now are warmer. They're like elastic bands, ready to do some stretching. If our muscles are nice and warm and ready, that means we can start doing longer stretches and build that connective tissue through a full range of motion, really challenge it. So, the exercise we're going to build to first is a standing pike with shoulder extension. I'm going to get B to demo this for us. B's going to stand at the end of her mat facing the wall. She's going to hold her brush shaft with her palms facing forward. Okay. If you're using a plate here, same idea. Your hands will just be slightly different. Now, B is going to put her hands as narrow or as wide as she needs, depending on what way you look at it. That'll make sense in a wee second. Standing as she is, she's going to lift that brush shaft up nice and high. See, her triceps are squeezed hard here. Her elbows are facing up to the sky. They haven't rotated in. Okay, really nice position. Shoulders are pinched together. She's trying to get that brush shaft up. Now, if she had a little weight, she could stick that on here, so her triceps have to work harder. From here, she's going to move her feet together. So sticky. She's going to lock out her legs and hinge herself forward, keeping that weight up nice and high. Now, the goal here is to get the brush shaft to go forward enough that A, it helps compress you down more, and B, helps elevate the shoulder that little bit more than you could do yourself. However, come back up, hold it high, and then down. Beautiful. Had she gone too wide with her hands and done the same thing, lifted with her hands, folded over, and then the brush shaft was able to go the whole way over, that would be a reverse dislocate, and that is not what we're aiming for. You need to move your hands way closer before doing that again. Okay, so we're going to be doing like 30-second holds, building some strength. Sweet. Grab your implement. The first version we're going to do is with our feet both pointed forward. Second version we'll do with our feet pointed out. And then third version we'll do with our feet pointed in. Okay, each one's going to challenge our pike slightly differently, and it's going to feel probably equally as terrible. You okay, the brush shaft? Do you want to wait for it? Alright, so first challenge is to lift that weight up. Oh, second challenge, pike on over. Oh my goodness, this might actually be too heavy. We'll see. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Oh. Alrighty, so having now done that, important to note, first time we do something is a great opportunity to make a mistake and then correct it on our repeats. So this is quite a narrow implement to use. I have very mobile shoulders compared to normal people, so I'm able to get away with that. I'm also pretty strong, and that's 10 kilos. Probably wouldn't actually suggest that for someone who has tight shoulders or is not very strong. Brush shaft is probably going to be more appropriate here. That's cool. If you need to change your implement, let's do that. Yeah, you could use a towel, that would work, or jumper, whatever. Yeah. Kinky whip. Interesting to see some Instagram pictures as to what people actually use. A garden hoe.
A garden hoe or hose?
A hoe.
Oh.
You know, for doing like the edge of a bed.
Eventually.
Anyway, H-O-E. Fun fact. Alrighty, so we're going to do that same thing again, this time with our toes turned out.
With?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh, it's just I haven't done this before.
That's okay, it's exciting. The legs are still locked. Going to lift that weight as high as you can to start off with. And up. Pike over.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Twenty. 9, 10.
That was more intense.
On the hamstrings.
Yeah. It was like.
I found about 17 seconds in that my shoulders just kind of go, oh,
Really?
and they go way down.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of scary at the same time. Feels more like doing stretches on the stall bars. With the weight. Do you want to try weight in your last one?
Like 1.25?
Little tiny one, yeah.
Oh, just weights.
Yeah. Snug.
Like a glove.
Okay, so this last one, same process as before. We're going to go toes in, legs fully locked, and all the way around. If your weight is more like B's than it is mine, we're really trying to keep those hips over the ankles, so you're tipping yourself forward enough that you're really getting deep down into the legs. What I'm finding with this is I'm having to counterbalance with my hips, and then I'm not getting as much of a stretch deep down in my legs. Still a good stretch though. Alrighty. Toes, this one won't be as bad. He famously said, arms locked, lift, and pike. 9, 20. 9, 10, and up. Oh, it's getting severe dicky shakes there. Relax.
The dicky shakes.
Oh, again around 17 seconds. The shoulders just opened up. All went like upper pec. Just really nice and that was pretty sweet. Cool. So in case you're not too sure of your anatomy, or you're just kind of wondering what the heck the benefit of that is, we're kind of stretching everywhere from the Achilles up through the calf, both the soleus and the gastro, right through the hamstrings, butt, lower back, traps, rhomboids, chest, bicep, all of the muscles. Okay, predominantly the back of the legs and the front of the body. Now, next thing we're going to do is get into our hips a little bit more and below our rib cage. Okay, so you can probably lose your brush shaft at this point. This is where, if you are a little bit tight, you might want to stack yourself up a little podium, little winner's block, and we're going to be sitting down in a straddle, like so. So a straddle, just 90 degrees with your legs, sort of. Anyway, it's not acute, it's not obtuse, it's right angles. Anyway, first year, yeah, whatever. So from here, we're going to be tilted forward. This is where that podium comes in important. If this position looks more like this, you're not really stretching as much down here as you could be. We want to be able to get that tilt forward so you can load up these muscles. Now, we're going to be rotated over a leg. I'm going to rotate over this leg so it's easier for you guys to see. T-shirt stretch. We're going to go hands interlocked, rotate that torso, and really stretch long. From there, we're going to come up and try to open that chest forward and back down. We're going to do 10 of those on one side, then come up, do 10 of those on the other side. The whole time, we're trying to keep our bum on the floor. Now, it'll want to do this, where it lifts away up, and I want you to try to push your hip away. You might hopefully be able to see that increases the length of my oblique. That's kind of the goal. A little bit grumpy. Alright, so pick your least favourite leg. Let's try and do that one first. These are going to be slow rotations and I'll count them. So turn to face your leg, think about the sternum going over the kneecap. Interlock those fingers, slide yourself long. I will rotate chest up for 1 and back down. For 2 and back down. For 3 and back down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And back up. Now, B and I are both quite mobile. We do a reasonable amount of mobility. So don't worry if your shape doesn't look like this. It might do in time. And even if it doesn't, you're still going to be getting benefit from this. A couple of things to note. Legs are fully locked out, so we're trying to pull the kneecaps up to the hips. If you look at your knee and nothing's happening, it's not being pulled up, just sit there for about 5 minutes until you're able to actually do that. Really key skill. And then point the toes. Other leg. Reach long and rotate. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so we're going to go back to the first side and do that again with a slight twist. Going to pull one foot in towards your groin. You're going to bend your leg slightly this time. It's so sweaty, it's just sticking to me. We're going to try the same thing. So reach nice and long and then rotate up. Hopefully this will feel a little bit different. We'll see.
Like how bent?
Just a little bit. Not like where it gets in the way, because you still are trying to bend up and over the leg.
And still locked out? Or like, how do you...
Stiff.
Stiff?
Yeah, so you want to engage the quad, engage the hamstring. First step is learning how to lock your leg. Second step is learning how to squeeze the muscle when it's not locked.
Oh, I think we need to take 5 minutes.
So what I do is I think about trying to pull my heel towards me, and that gets my hamstring on.
Mm-hmm.
And then just pull my kneecap a little bit. So much concentration.
Oh, I saw it move
Uh-huh.
once.
Cool. There's a little bit of homework for you. All right, so reach over that leg. And rotate. And back down. Rotate. And back down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
New skill unlocked. Or locked.
And we'll swap over sides, so tuck that leg in, slight bend in this straightish leg, toes pointed, muscles engaged. Reach on out. Oh, it's so good in the lower back, that. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Feel any different?
Makes me feel immobile.
You don't have as much movement from here.
Yeah.
Did you find it easier to keep your hip on the floor?
Yeah.
Cool. Happy days. All right, then we're going to finish off with a little bit of pancake. So legs are going to be out in that straddle position again. You're going to reach your hands up by your ears as if you're about to do a handstand, and from there, you're going to fold forward and try to keep that straight line from the wrist through the elbow, through the shoulder, down to the hip. Okay, I don't want to see that. I want to see a true representation of the direction of your spine. All right, we're going to go here for a minute. I will set a timer because it's just cruel to make people do stuff if there's not a time. 3, 2, 1. You might feel as we go through this, your groin starts to let you go lower. I'm feeling like I'm working my groin really hard here just to support this position. Keep those elbows locked. Try and keep the chest up. Push the belly button down. Driving the heels into the floor. Toes are nice and pointed. Kneecaps are pulled up. Hamstrings are working. Wrists are up. 20 seconds to go. Chest is down. Belly button's down. Working hard now, working hard. In 10 seconds, we're going to fold and relax towards the floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And fold down. Just relax down there. Reach your arms out. Grab your feet if you can. So we just relax that chest down. Focus on some nice deep breaths. Every time you breathe out, feel like your body is becoming closer to the earth. Toes are still pointed. Legs are still locked. you find your big toe is rolling in towards the floor, try instead to pull the little toe out towards the floor. Feel the outside hamstring, the butt working a little bit to do that. Nice and deep, nice and low. 10. 3, 2, 1, and ease back out of that. And that is our mobility done for the day. So, that middle split work, really good for the inside of the hips, the hip control, and being able to stabilize those joints, and especially if we're working around the obliques. We got them stronger earlier on with our planks. We're making sure they're still mobile enough there for our overhead positions and for taking pressure off our rib cage and allow us to control our pelvis a little bit better. Win, 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 win. All right, thanks for joining us. I'll see you guys real soon.